in and around the square outside the Bank of England. That's the old lady of Threadneedle Street, giving you the location there. Is the top right of your picture there with a flagpole on it, and you might just see just dotted along the rooftops there some of the police observers and then maybe some of the Bank of England workers having a look at all this. And you can see thousands of people coming into that area right now. The early contingent arrived from Moorgate Tube Station. That was the closest station. The police seem to be holding back there some more protesters who want to join in there and sing along. You can see the drums banging as well there, and a few placards being held up. And this, writ large for you, there we are, Free Market Ecocide is one of the banners I can pick out there for you. The shot from the cops are very clear indeed. So thousands, tens of thousands at the very least, coming in to the City of London right now to make their dissatisfaction with the financial crisis and with the rest of it. Now, I believe we've got one of our reporters, Alistair Bunkle, in the midst of that crowd somewhere. Let's get a sense of what's happening on the ground with Alistair. Tell us where you are, Alistair. What's happening?
We're part of the march that left Liverpool Street about 45 minutes ago, and we arrived at the Bank of England in the last couple of minutes, and a couple of the marches converged. As you know, the four horses of the apocalypse are leading these marches from various corners around the city, all converging on the Bank of England. We were part of the red horse, and the green horse is also here. And the police, what they're doing is they're trying to keep the two separate marches apart, and so they're forming a barrier between the two groups of protesters. And a group of probably about 50 or so right in front of the police haven't taken kindly to that. They're trying to push forward, and they're pushing the police to try and join the two groups together. I think there must be, a couple of thousand people here, we estimate, and more to follow. An awful lot of press as well, it must be added. But it's been, to this point, extremely good-natured. The police have been taking the march along at a fairly sedate pace, making sure that they keep control of it. There's an awful lot of people who work in and around the streets that we've been marching through that have been leaning out their windows, taking photographs, and anyone who has office buildings leading onto the street have made sure they've locked their doors as the march passes them. But up to this point, as I said, it's been pretty good-natured until they reached the Bank of England, and then there was that small sort of hardcore group that were trying to push through the police barrier.
Okay. Alistair Bunkle there somewhere within that crowd. He was just telling us he's come, just to fill you in on the geography, from the east of the Bank of England there with the contingent from Liverpool Street, and describing this, and we can see it for ourselves, this police operational tactic there of trying to keep the different segments apart. If you can see the streets feeding into the area outside the Bank of England there, you can see quite clearly with their high visibility vests and jackets on there, the police stopping some people, some of the protesters, some of the phalanxes coming down from some of the streets, and here quite clearly corralled, I suspect, a group they regard as potentially more dangerous than some of the others. Let's talk now to talk protests now. We've got Tony Benn, I'm glad to say, joining us now from our Westminster studio. And Mr. Benn, we're just very good of you to talk to us, just having a look at some of the scenes on the streets in and around the City of London. Does this hearten you? Does it gladden you?
Well, it's people trying to speak. All the heads of government are here, and these meetings that are going on today about people who are worried about unemployment. Many people have lost their jobs. They've been dispossessed from their homes. There are wars going on. There are British soldiers in Afghanistan and still a few in Iraq. And I think the coverage of this, if I may make a suggestion to you, would be to try to cover some of the speeches made today, so people will realize someone is able to hear what they're saying. Otherwise, if you